It is the 29th of December, maybe 28th of December. 29th of December feels about right. Anyway, I'm here to do a little bit of a tutorial. I've been making these creations. I don't have a name for them. I'm not sure that I've ever seen them before. They're sort of like a cluster, they're kind of a collage, but these are longer and thinner, and they're meant to decorate the edge of a page. And it could be just, a little bit of adhesive so that it can be used as a tuck. It could decorate the top of a page. The idea is that you want to keep it shorter, so I rarely ever do books bigger than 8 inches, so I want to keep these under 8 inches, and I want to keep the colors very what I would call low volume, so not a lot of color, not a lot of harsh shapes, sticking to neutrals, and what can be toned down, I'll tone down with a little bit of ink. Right here I have finger paint paper. I have a whole pad of it. This is folded in half so that I can, turn it around and use it inside and out. And I find this really great for inking pieces on because it's slippery, so your distress tool will move a little more freer. I'll show you another tip with that. Anyway, so this is a good way to use up some scraps, which we've been seeing a lot of recently in videos. So grab all of your low volume scraps. So I've got pieces of ledger, pieces of coffee stain paper, some craft paper, some maps, music, and some little edges of scrapbook paper. Here's some coffee dyed book paper. Plus, get out every tiny little piece of ephemera that you have. So here's a couple of ideas. I have some miniature cards. I've got some flowers. Got some rather bigger flowers. I did pop out some old scrapbook stuff that I thought might go well. So these tags, these are little tag stickers. I don't think they're going to come through. These are little woven labels. I've got some textiles and fabric, so lace, ribbon, netting, string. These are a bunch of tiny little pictures that I've cut out of books that I thought were kind of fun. Some of the colors, there's a tea card, some stamps, some little photos. So just, anything you have, some little fussy cut images, plus any little bits of paper. So there's some more tea cards. Look at that little chipmunk. This is a tag from clothing. These are some little envelopes that have buttons in them. Here's a label from a sweater. The nicest thing you can say about knitwear. Button card, more labels, some lined paper, anything you happen to have. Got some paper doily, got some coin rolls. These are just pulled out of books, some other fussy cuts. So, feathers. So just grab a whole bunch of neutrals. I also got out some stickers. So these are old stickers. This is packaging from Tim Holtz. I've also got the stickers, the clippings, and some other stickers that are neutrally. Some craft paper. Anyway, anything you see. If you have some of these old border stickers, these work too. This one I colored with a little bit of ink. All of these were white, but I needed to darken that white up a bit. So if you have something like that in your pile, grab it. And anyway, let's get started. So the way I came up with this idea, I was cutting down some files today, I'm going to just adjust this camera a bit. I was cutting down some file folders today to put through my my printer. And these are all used. I got them at a thrift store, I think. But they're all, the one side's all written on, but the other one isn't. And I thought, that's fun. How can I use that? So, these are the big, long 14.5-inch ones. I think shorter ones would be better. But this is what I had. So, where the biggest tab is about 7.5 inches long. So just tear that down. Okay, so this is just a really nice, relaxing craft. So don't need to get out too many tools. I do want to try to use some lace and fabric, so we'll see how that goes. Here's a little bit of lace that looks interesting. So you want things to be a little wonky. You don't want them 100% straight. Got my old Fab-A-Tac here, which I love. I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use this one. I know I've been seeing people using the glitter art glue, and I'd like to try that, but I haven't been able to find it. I looked online, and the art glitter glue website said they don't ship in the winter or something because the glue melts, or sorry, not melts, freezes. So I don't know if anybody has ideas where I can find it in Canada, Ontario specifically, please let me know. So just put a little bit of lace down. So this one I'm going to just kind of go like that. But before I do, I'm going to ink it up a bit. So I've got a vintage photo, and I've also got antique linen. And I don't know if you've had this problem too. Antique linen is a good color if you can get it on your paper. But it doesn't go on very good, so I just put a little dab on the watercolor, and then I can smear it up. Not the watercolor, the fingerprint paint paper, so I can smear it up, gather it in one location, and that does a good job. I like a vintage photo, but on paper it's a little too dark, if you know what I mean. It makes it look a little too grungy, if that's a thing. So I like this. But this color, and I don't bother switching ink pads or the distress tool pad. So here's what I mean about being able to swirl it on. This kind of gives it more of a subtle look, and the fingerprint paint paper just kind of gives it a smooth, less friction, so that you can just put a little bit of ink on rather than going whole hog. Oh shoot, I'm not in camera. Sorry about that. I'm using a different setup here with my camera, and sometimes the camera is just a little too heavy. Anyway, so I think even though I was out of camera, I think you saw or understood what I was doing there. So will I put this on top, or will I put this way? think I vote this way. How am I doing? Am I in? I'm in. I did do some stitching with black thread on my other examples. Where's this? This is an index divider from a little memo book, and I used part of it on this one. So I cut off the edge that had the little AB tag, but I kind of like this edge that has the little holes. A little bit of definition there, but not as much as I'd like. Okay. And this one, I think I will go right there, maybe a little higher. Looks good to me. So where it says name, I'd like to put a word, just because that makes sense. What could I use? Maybe not yet. Oh, that's nice. Just tear this a bit. So I decided not to go with the word and actually go with this piece of, this was actually the cover of a scrapbook pad, and it had an example of each of the pages, so why would I throw that out? So I chopped it all up. Well, I hope everybody's enjoying the holidays. I'm off till next Wednesday. I've actually got a cold right now. It started off as a sore throat. It's just not Christmas unless someone's sick, is it? It was funny, my great nephew said that on Boxing Day. And wouldn't you know it, that night is when my sore throat started. So I don't like this as well as I thought I would. We'll hang on to that. I got some book page. Well, that looks kind of fun. Sometimes, this is a brand new bottle of Fabri-Tac, but sometimes the Fabri-Tac gets really thick. So what I've been doing is adding acetone. Now I actually have pure acetone, not, I think my husband has it for something to do with his guitars. I don't know, but I've stolen it. this a bit. And so I add a spoonful or two of the acetone, give it a shake, and it thins it right up so that it doesn't do the glue booger thing at the top. Speaking of boogers, I'm sniffing. Okay. I also got out a miniature playing card, and I already... Well, that's kind of interesting. I'll think about that for a minute. Oh, here's my little card. So I thought about putting a little card there. Nope. I could put this little picture. That's cute. I better make sure I'm in camera again. Oh, that's Stephen Hawking's when he was a little boy. Like that. Maybe we'll go with something a little prettier. Here's a teacup. Where's my ink? Oh, there it is. There. So it was white paper, and using the antique linen that just neutralized it a bit, I guess. And what are you getting at? I think it needs something else. Nope. It's the wrong color altogether. Anyway, I think you're getting the idea of what I've been up to. So I won't bore you too much longer with this. I like that. I like that word, having a word there. Let's see if I can find a different word. What's this? Ooh, got this fun little flourish. I know I'm overthinking this, but I bet I'm not the only one who does that. That might make it a little too long. Well, that's a shame. That might make it a little too wide. Okay, I'm getting carried away. I'm just going to put on this piece of lace here and then add some stitches and we will call it a day. This is coffee dyed eyelet lace. I think I got it from a piece of clothing or something. Oh, my poor nose. Yep, so I'm going to do a zigzag right down here. And let's look at this picture again. Too big. Not good. Huh. Oh, that's kind of fun. What do you know that? This one's a little smaller. But it's a man in a kilt. I'll darken that up a bit, I think. And alternately, I could do no. Okay, one more thing and then I'm done. Ooh, what do you know that? Okay, that's staying. These are cut from a book that I got at the thrift store. I think it was like Fortunes in Your Attic or something. So it was just a very long list of things that you might have stored away in your attic that are worth $1 bazillion. So there was a lot of cigarette packages and cards and ephemera kind of stuff, which was cool because then I can use those images without having to, like, look at that. Isn't that cute? I'm not sure if you can see that. A little too much color going on there. Anyway, so I'm going to just give that a quick sew. Hi friends, I'm back. So I worked away at this. I should actually tidy this up, but it's too late. So I worked away at this, and let me show you what I ended up doing. So this one, I added some stitches, and afterwards I ended up adding some paper flowers and these little buttons. They're little shell buttons, and I stitched them on. I glued them first, and then poked my awl through the hole and stitched them on. And I'm really happy with the way that one turned out. So it has lace, music paper, another lace, file folder, an index card, not an index card, but a divider, some book page, picture that I cut out of a book, some paper flowers and buttons. Okay. This one I'm not as happy with. So I have some map, I have an air mail envelope, I have some file folder stitched on. This is the top of a fold over for a button envelope that you would get, you know, with when you buy a new jacket or something, it would come with an envelope. So that's the flap. I put an eyelet through there. I added this little tag here and put an eyelet through Here's some paper at the end. I cut this out of a calendar or something. Here's a little ticket and some book page. So I tied a little bit of yarn through there. It's a little too much. I am not happy with the airmail envelope. I think that introduced way too much color, but it is what it is. Okay, this one has paper. I really like how this turned out, so I layered a couple of strips of paper. It has book page, little scrap of lace. This is an envelope where you would get extra buttons with your new jacket or whatever. File folder. This is a die cut, so that's one thing I didn't mention is you could get out your die cutter. So this is a I want to say it's Sizzix, but I'm not sure. Some book page and these coupons, these little tickets. And I cut this little bird out of a book. So, yeah, I like that one. That one turned out good. Here's the one I was struggling with. So I ended up putting some seam binding. So this is vintage seam binding. I think I got it at a thrift store. I think somebody actually removed it from clothing because it's got holes from being sewn. Anyway, it's really yucky, so I like it. I did remember to add that flourish. A little bit of music paper, some book page. Here's the file folder. This is a label, an old scrapbooking supply, some ledger paper, and some, I think that's notebook paper, and a miniature playing card. Here's a little picture of a teacup. So I'm happy with how that turned out. And last but not least is this little guy. I kind of made it in an L shape. I'm not sure how good that's showing up, but this has a coin roll, some book page. This is a tea card with a little bit of paper doily, and this is another die cut tab, some map, some lined note paper, and a file folder. I feel like I could add some more to this, you know, maybe another layer in here, but I'm not going to right now. I'm going to stop where I am. So how many did I make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I made these other ones earlier. This one has this came out of a book. It was a little sticker that was inside a book, and I have a cutout. This is some scrapbook paper. This is the packaging from something scrapbooky. I can't remember what. But I don't know. This has an image cut from a book, some paper doily, index tab, file folder, a little bit of scrapbook paper, music paper, and book page. This one has note paper, book paper. This is one of those Tim Holtz words things. This is map, a stamp, notebook paper, music paper, and I'm happy with that. This one I think might be my favorite. So it actually has a signature that was in a book that I had. This is book page here. This is an index card I just trimmed down. This is a tab that was a die cut. This is a coin roll, file folder, book page, paper doily. I like how that turned out. This one has scrapbook paper, ledger, file folder, some craft paper, more scrapbook paper, music. This is book page, map, and I got a stamp. I inked it up to change the color of it because it was gray on white, to make it match the scrapbook paper a little bit better. So that turned out good. And this one had Tim Holtz words, feather, book page, music page, file folder, more book page, some cardstock. So I like how that turned out too. There's extra holes because I actually sewed two together. Had to take it all apart. Don't look too close. Okay. Alrighty, so thanks so much for watching my video, and I hope you saw something that you liked and you'll give some collaging a try. It's a lot of fun. I have literally spent hours tonight just by myself fiddling around with all this fun stuff. So you take care, and we'll talk to you again soon.